regarded as one of today's leading thinkers when it comes to the next major upheaval in manufacturing. He is from the Technological Institute. Please join me in giving a warm round of applause to Jefferson Gomes, Doctor of Engineering.
Thank you. So, can you hear me? Because I cannot. So, thank you so much. In the last 2 days, let me see here. How can I move here? Okay. On this. Okay, I'm back. Okay. In the last 2 days, I've been wondering what topic I should talk about this meeting here. Actually, I'm a mechanical engineer, I'm a machine designer, and I have been doing the last 10 years, 10 and 15 years, some projects, especially for oil and gas and aeronautical sector. So I could actually, especially for you, I could share some information regarding in order to provide more better on technological integration, but really seeing and looking the agenda of this event today morning and really right now, I decided to share with you some information of our anxieties in Brazil. Anxieties expressed in this UNESCO report, which I led together with the Ministry of Industry and Trade, the Ministry of Technology and Ministry of Education in Brazil. This report was a collective construction with more than 600 Brazilian specialists. Specialists from academia, specialists from industry, from companies, specialists from different kinds, different spheres of government in Brazil. So, let's get a sense of the actual scenario we have right now. Worldwide, we have around 3.5 billion people. They have some kind of contract, employment contract. But anyway, 1 billion of these people work in positions that did not exist before 2011. As powerful as this, my friends, is that specialists say that in 6 years, only in 6 years, 65%, just because of this revolution we have right now, 65% of the position that will be offered simply do not exist, not yet. So, actually just because of we are in the center, actually in the center of a tornado generated by Moore's law. Yeah, Moore's law means a short-term technological drivers. Those technologies are becoming cheaper and cheaper and cheaper. So technologies such as autonomous and collaborative robotics, hybrid process and products, digitalization, sense and wearables, so analytics and artificial intelligence. That means what we are seeing right now, just here, a new business model integrating researchers, integrated employments, integrate entrepreneurs, new companies, so has been created in the last 4 or 5 years. In fact, in a recent Deloitte company report, about 1,500 CEOs were interviewed about which technologies would be relevant to be invested. So what you can see here, it depends on if it is in USA, in China, in Europe. The first 11 technologies listed are consequences of this Industry 4.0 scenario. The only difference was the degree of investment policy. Actually, this situation has led nations and companies worldwide to develop strategies that you can read very well, very easily in hundreds of reports you can find in the internet. So, let me say a little bit more about this. A recent study reported by the company McKinsey, this report summarizes that there will be 2 types of plants in a close future, brownfields and greenfields. Brownfield plants are composed mainly of existing equipments. They need to be connected in order to provide more efficiency. Not only energy efficiency, but communication, but lead time efficiency. the green fields are divided in three types. One type, one type is very interesting. It's for high scale. And let me explain a little bit more about high scale. Let me talk about Brazil in this situation. Brazil feed, I don't know if you know, feed 1/3 of the population, the worldwide population. So let me give you an example. Consider the integration between agriculture and food industry. Look at, in Brazil, our slaughter around 12 million chickens per day. I repeat, 12 million chickens per day. We have to feed worldwide. So, a chicken, a life cycle, a life of a chicken is 45 days. That is very important. A slaughtered chicken weighs around 1.8 kilogram. So to produce just 1 kilogram of chicken, we need around 1.6 kilogram of corn. So a chicken needs about 3 kilograms of corn then. So then what I'm saying is that consequently, only for the production of chickens, we need 36,000 tons per day of corn. So these tons need to travel, need to be monitored, need to be controlled from planting, harvesting, and supply. So the same situation goes to the chickens. So let's then consider that with 7.5 billion people worldwide, certain productions, like food productions, like textile productions, will need to be totally resized. The second type of green fields are plants for mass customization. So the name is already understandable, and this is very good applied in the automotive and the footwear sector. But the third one is e-plants. E-plants means for small and customized production, we are going to have machines not only for polymers and metals in a close future, but also for food and organic products, and also in even internal organs. But then in that situation, I'm talking about long-term technologies. So then considering this scenario and this atmosphere here at QB, my question in the end is, what do people really need when you talk about Industry 4.0? Let me come back to the 70s. In 1973, this guy, this professor called Victor Papanek, a brilliant professor aus Austria, who made his career in the United States, asked this question to his students, to companies, and to his colleagues. In order to create a collective construction. And in the end, the answer were, yeah, what you need: peace, clean air, clean water, freedom, education, health, housing, what? So I think this scenario remains the same after 40 years. But I still quote Dr. Laurent. Dr. Laurent is one of the directors of the World Economic Forum. She was very precise last year when she said, can humanity leverage the effect of Industry 4.0? Will the primary motivation for business be to become more efficient or to innovate? So how can we ensure a safe and secure cyberspace? In that case, I have to say to you that we have different kinds of discussion right now. Added to these informations, the World Economic Forum last year, which took place here in Berlin last year in 2016 in November, concluded that there are 6 drivers that will be most impactful in shaping the future of production. One is technology and innovation, for sure. What you have here is just of this. Behind the scenes, regulations and governments, natural resources and sustainability, global economy, trade and investment, consumer expectation, but one very important pillar is the human and capital and skills. So, in another World Economic Forum meeting, but that took place in New York last year, the effects of technologies that are considered by Industry 4.0 will impact fundamentally on society and people. Yeah, we are going to have value on the factory floor, for sure, to the firms, in terms of productions operations. We are going to have value to the industry in terms of dynamics and supply networks. But what value does it bring to society? And how does it change my life, your life, our lives? So, what the people really need to be included in that game called Industry for All? That's our question in Brazil. So, if you see here in this slide developed by Deloitte Company and Garrett Morgan last year, we can see a ranking of manufactured goods exports from countries based on their technological intensity. You know, the size of bubbles indicates total manufacturing export in 2014, the size of bubbles. What you can see is that advanced economies with higher share of high skill and technology in the export are placed very high in labor productions, very high, measured as GDP output per year, per worker. So what you can conclude is that high skill and technology intensive nations are trending up in Brazil. Nations with lower proportion of high skill are trending down. We can see here the position of Brazil. The message here is really very, very clear. If you are embedded in a world with so many technological and chip integrations, like here, talent will be the differential. What you have seen here are competitions, our competitor. We are going to analyze the people, they have talent. Obviously, other factors are very important, like energy policy, local market attractiveness, supply network, legal and regulatory systems. But talent was considered the most important thing for 1,500 CEOs interviewed by Deloitte. So, a World Economic Forum, another World Economic Forum report, in this report is very clear. It's very clear in showing that all technological skills for different careers are already mapped. You know, I'm a mechanical engineer, and then I was looking for the position of mechanical engineers, and here we can see this heat map. We can see the distribution of skills for different kinds of industry. If you want to know about what you have to know in terms of technological skills, technical skills, are already all mapped. So, but let me say a little bit more something. The first cause in Brazil of hiring people right now are technical skills. But the first cause for firing people in Brazil are behavioral skills. I don't know how it's here, but in Brazil are behavioral skills. This business called Industry 4.0 needs systematic skills. Systematic. In the world I led in Brazil last year, that was a very clear point from the specialists. So, but let me talk a little bit more about Brazil, the situation of talents. So, in Brazil we have around 200 million people, okay? 50 million are youngs. 85% of the young, they live in cities, in the cities. 15 in the countryside. 54 work, 36 study, 23 work and study simultaneously, and the rest, they don't work, they don't study. We are talking about Industry 4.0 worldwide. So the consequence is only 10% of our population have technical education. You here in Germany, you have around 50%. In Sweden, over 70%. So, but very interesting, 80% of young people use computers and the internet. 89% have smartphones, and you know, we don't use such kind of devices for improve the training and the qualification of our people. If you can ask me, and experienced people, my friends, in 3 years, just in my state, South Brazil, in Santa Catarina, 50% of workers will be over 45 years old. in 3 years. The estimate is that 2/3 of workers will be older than 35 years. These people are really not prepared regarding the application of digitalization and artificial intelligence. So we need urgently reskill these people. Reskill. Reskilling is a very important task. And about gender. Gender equality. Gender equality. If the main opportunity generated by Industry 4.0 is the easy and cheap integration of technologies, the difference is really creativity. So essentially, good product development groups are made up of diversity of skills, ages, and genders. Brazil still walks very slowly in the participation of women in technology. Very slow. I don't know how it's here in Germany, but in the United States, they have mainly the same problem because they created recently a program called Women in Technology. My point of view, women in technology is not a matter of inclusion, but a strategic positioning to improve the economy. Senai. I represent Senai. I'm a professor and CEO of a company called Senai, National Service for Technological Education and for Technological Services. You can see in the right side here, we have supported more than 70,000 companies nationwide with technical and technological consulting. We are the largest national network of metrological tests. And also you have implemented 26 innovation institutes just to put in the same top employees, entrepreneurs, researchers, big companies, small-sized companies. Those institutes was based on Fraunhofer model. We have the support from Fraunhofer Society here in Berlin, and also from MIT. We are putting together MIT and Fraunhofer in the same buck in Brazil. But the left side, look at. We are in school with more than 2,600,000 students. Just under my hut in Santa Catarina, I have per day more than 150,000 students. So what you can do in terms of Industry 4.0? So for our students, we have integrated in all the courses technical competences of programming, sensors, electronic instrumentation, data analysis. But also, we have to improve the emotional skills. And you have to give tools, like, for example, such as complex problem solving, teamwork, creativity, self-management. So what I'm saying, what I'm trying to say is that, for inspiring people, for inspiring students to innovate, you have to use tools, technological tools, such as artificial intelligence, gamification, virtual and mixed reality. For recognizing and provide content, we need to use advanced algorithms. You have used it. You have used it. And you have created different kinds of courses, like data scientists, robot supervision, autonomous transportation. So, we are in the way, I don't know, but we have to do. You don't have to give up. It's coming. A tornado is coming and more and more and more by us. Conclusions. I don't have conclusions because it's impossible to have conclusions right now. I just can say, experts say everything I said to you in these 15 minutes, last 15 minutes, come true by 2012. So in Brazil, just because of our situation, I have a just saying, please, my friend, calm down. Please calm down, because I'm in a hurry. That is our situation. We are in a hurry. So I return to the figure of Professor Papanek. In 1973, he affirmed that good products would be designed for the desires of people. Desires of people can be bad desires or good desires. Independent. In this case, diversity is the referential, is the requirement we need. I see that For me, evolution is law. Thank you so much for your very kind attention.
Thank you so much, Jefferson Gomes, for your insights in
Thank you.
this field. We appreciate it. So.